So I recently got a comment. I recently got a comment from a very wise man. I'm not gonna lie. Honestly, it was my first ever comment, and someone commented on the video, and I was really excited to see the comment. And bro, that comment I'll put it on the screen. The comment just said so much truth that I want to make a video on this. I want to make a video on this, and I want to first of all acknowledge his comment. It's amazing, wisdom there, which shows the importance of speaking to older men and older people. But not just that, bro. This is a very important topic. I hope this video brings you hope, especially as someone who's young, especially as someone like my age, where we're all trying to make it, we're all trying to get successful, we're all trying to live extraordinary lives. We don't want to be mid, as the man said. I forgot his name, but he pretty much said something which I called this term. I don't know if this is an actual term or not, but I call this optimism decay. Okay, optimism decay. What is that? Optimism decay is when people lose, or their optimism in life starts to decay as they get older and older and older. I mean, it makes sense, bro. If someone is if someone is 7 years old, right? Let's just say you go to a school and this kid is 7, and you ask him, "What do you want to be?" He's gonna say some pretty big stuff. He's gonna say, "I want to be an astronaut. I'm gonna be now this kid's a YouTuber, right? I want to be a YouTuber. I want to be this. I want to be a professional soccer player, professional basketball player. I want to be like they have these big goals, these big aspirations, because they see these people and they see that they're heroes, on YouTube, and they see these people living such amazing lives and they're such cool people. But then the more someone gets older, let's say now this kid is in high school, and you ask him, "What do you want to be?" He says, "Oh, no high schooler speaks like that, but he's like, oh, I want to be I don't know, an engineer, for example," which is cool, bro. If you want to be an engineer, good for you, right? But the same kid used to say that I wanted to be an astronaut. And as life keeps going on, as they keep getting older and older and older, their optimism decays to the point where, I mean, you can't really ask someone you can't ask a 30-year-old, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" But you can ask 30-year-olds about their goals. You can ask 30-year-olds, "Oh, why don't you go to the gym, bro? Maybe going to the gym is gonna help you." He's like, "Oh no, I'm too old to go to the gym now." Bro, you're 30. "No, I know, but I'm so busy with kids, and I have kids, and I have a wife, and I'm so busy with work." And then you look at his time. He has like 6 hours free, 5 hours free, but then he's too tired, presumably too tired to live an extraordinary life. People's optimism goes down and down and down. All right, their health, everything. It just goes down based off just because of the fact that they've had negative relations. When you ask a toddler, not a toddler, 6 year old, a child, when you ask him, "What do you want to be?" he has no references to go back to. For him, the sky is a freaking limit, bro. This kid's gonna say, "Oh yeah, I want to be this, I want to be that," because, bro, for him, the sky is a limit. He has no references. Now, a high schooler, for example, high schooler is a little bit more older. He has more references that you can go back to. He has time to think. He has time to rationalize. He can actually rationalize something to a certain extent. Now, obviously, this rationalization is actually not a good thing for a lot of people, because I'll give you an example why. Optimism is, honestly, it goes against a lot of rationalization. When someone is optimistic, they're not trying to rationalize. They're optimistic for the future, for what's ahead. But this kid, he's in high school, going to university. He's had his time. He saw himself not really working hard towards the goals he truly wanted to work on, because his parents made him work towards something that he truly didn't want, right? So he didn't have time, or he didn't have the opportunities, or he didn't have the connections to become a football player or soccer player as he wanted to become when he was young. So all these years of him focusing on school, focusing on tests, he's like, "Oh, how can I be a soccer player now? Because I've studied for most of my life, even though, because my parents, forced me to study for most of my life." So they have these references that they go back to, which is why they say, for example, "I want to be an engineer." Because why? Because that's the only reference they know. That's the only thing they know. When you ask a child, like, "What about making money online?" for example, they're like, "Oh, that stuff is a scam." Again, they have no references. For me, I know making money online is not a scam, because I've made money online before multiple times. So I know it's not a scam because it's literally worked for me, which is why I go so hard on YouTube and other stuff, right? So it's all references that you go back to. So optimism decay is pretty much what the gentleman was saying. He was just like, "Yeah, so you're right now, we're young, right? And we have peers our age." He says that when people are young, especially even at 20, they have optimism, right? When they're 20, they're worrying about, they care about like their looks, they care about looking their best, they care about attracting the best girl, whatever, right? So we still have some level of optimism. It's not like we're finished. But as the years go on, the people our age, our friends in high school, our friends that we're friends with for so long, that are not on self-improvement, that are not actually willing to live fulfilling lives, what they're gonna do is their optimism is gonna start going down and down and down and down. Why? Because they start giving up. So the gentleman said in the comment, as you keep going, there's going to be a large group of people in your peer group or amongst your peers that are going to get less and less and less optimistic. They're going to start giving up, and they're going to pretty much convince themselves to live mid lives. That's what the gentleman said in the comment. They're gonna live mid lives, bro. They're gonna accept it. They're gonna accept reality. They're gonna be like, oh, but I'm just being realistic, okay? Like, they're gonna be like that. They don't realize that they can make money off their phone. They don't realize that they can actually hit the gym and live a fulfilling life. They don't realize that they can be. It's not just about money. It's not just about work. But yeah, they've accepted mid lives, and with accepting mid lives, you know what the antidote, or not the antidote, but you know what the prerequisite is? Like, you know what actually leads to living a midlife? Comfort. When you've accepted your comfort zone, when you say, oh no, it's not gonna work out anyway, so I'm gonna be the way I am. When you've accepted comfort in one aspect of your life, expect comfort to be prevalent in every single aspect of your life. If you've accepted comfort in a job, in a 9 to 5 job, expect comfort when you come home from your job, and expect yourself to be comfortable watching TV and eating Cheetos. When you've accepted comfort in one aspect of your life, you've now made comfort a part of yourself, which means that in every other aspect of your life, you're also going to be comfortable. So this is why the competition is not going to be that hard. Right now, you're comparing yourself to your friends. You're comparing yourself when your mother is telling you, oh yeah, by the way, your friend from high school is doing this and this and this and this, and he's in this university. Just keep going. I know it's cliche advice to hear keep going, but I'm speaking, by the way, the way I'm speaking to my younger self right now, who feels like the entrepreneurship is not going to help. It's not going to work out. I'm speaking to the younger version of myself who's, wondering if being on self-improvement is even worth it. I'm speaking to the younger version of myself right now that's losing hope and is being scared and has anxiety because he has to go back to university in a couple of months, and then when he graduates university he has to go to a job. And so you have to stop thinking short term. Doesn't matter, like, stop thinking short term, stop taking shortcuts, stop trying to portray yourself as someone who's successful when you're actually not, because that's what short term thinking does to a man, does to a person. So right now you might be just like, there, oh man, I don't know if it's gonna work out for me, and you feel like so low and depressed, and you're freaking talking to ChatGPT. I understand. I talk to ChatGPT every single second of my day at this point. The competition will get lower as people just will accept mediocrity. This is why this is prevalent amongst the successful people. This is why when you watch soccer and you see Messi and you see Ronaldo, these are the ones that they did not accept mediocrity. Yeah, so a lot of players get really excited by just getting to professional level. But for Ronaldo and Messi, that wasn't their end goal. Their end goal was becoming the best in the professional level. There's a big difference. A lot of people will get comfortable by just, becoming a star player of a team. Ronaldo doesn't get comfortable. Even though he's the best player on the team, he's still not comfortable. He still wants to win more trophies. There's a reason why, bro. They have such optimism, and it keeps growing as they get older. This is why you see people such as Jeff Bezos and these people making such big businesses, making this much money and this many things. I'm not saying that maybe they don't make mistakes or they're all perfect. What I'm trying to say is that they have optimism. When Jeff Bezos was making Amazon, people thought it was a scam. People thought, oh, what the heck, bro? This thing is 100% a scam. Now people are calling him a freaking genius and everything. Why? Because Amazon is one of the most important brands, or companies rather, in the freaking world. Everything I buy is from Amazon. This camera is from Amazon. This mic is from Amazon. At least it's sold by Amazon. My entire room most of it is by Amazon, except the bed and this sofa I'm sitting on. This light you see behind me is from Amazon. Like, he had optimism. He knew his path would get easier. He knew what he was working on. Other people, his competitions that are trying to do the same thing, they're all gonna stop. They're all gonna accept mediocrity. So as long as we don't accept mediocrity, as long as we just keep going, eventually we're gonna be the left out people, the standouts, the people in the spotlight. Eventually it's gonna come. So don't just sit there and be like, I don't know. It gets easier, bro. Optimism decay. Just remember this one term: optimism decay. And do not let your optimism decay, and you'll be good, bro. I gotta go, bro. But if you have any questions or anything, DM me the word accelerates on Instagram. Like just DM me the word accelerate with a question that you may have, and I'll just DM back because I reply to all my DMs. And my Instagram, I just post like a bunch of like fire stories. I post like my life. I post my journey. I document my journey. It's just it's a new Instagram, but I'm trying to grow it. So follow me on Instagram. Other than that, I love you, and I'll see you very soon, bro.